It is hot out there. Let's make a ponytail. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get what I have is a 9 by 9 drawstring ponytail that's already done. Problem is it's a little bit too big. So for you, I made a template that you can use. I made this during COVID and you could go on my website. It's free and you could go ahead and print that up. So what I go ahead and do is I place down the fabric over top of the template and you want to make sure that you pin it down. Now what I'm going to use is a silver marker so that I can mark out where the fold line is so I know exactly where I'm going to be folding. You can use a China marker as well, but I like to use the silver marker. Now this is hemming tape. It's a dissolvable hemming tape that you can get on Amazon or you can get it at your favorite fabric store. Once you place that all the way around, it makes it easier to sew onto the sewing machine. Pins are okay, but I kind of like using the hemming tape a little bit better. Make sure that you cut out your extra pieces once you're done, and then you go ahead and get to the sewing machine. So you want to make sure that you're not sewing too close because you want to make sure that you're able to get the drawstring through. This is what it looks like when it's all done. And then you go ahead and use your second piece, which I call the stabilizer. You need this because if you don't have it, it's going to make for a very weak ponytail. It needs to have a double fabric at the top in order to hold the weight of the hair. Now I'm using some old weaving net that I have to mark everything out. So you want to pin that down and then you just go ahead and cut that piece off, and then you're going to add that right at the top of your ponytail holder and pin it just as I have done. And then you get right to the sewing machine and sew all the way around and make that nice and secure. So this is what that finished product looks like. Now you're going to go ahead and place back that drawstring, and now you use a little pin. So here I ran into a problem because that hemming tape is sticky. So I had to go and wet the whole fabric down so that I was able to go back in and place the drawstring into the fabric. So then you want to go ahead and put the stopper back onto it, and you could just make sure that you're looking at it before you take it off. Now, once you do that, you go ahead and you start marking out your whole drawstring ponytail. Now, the little clip you saw before, that was me making the double wefts so that I could go ahead and place it on. You can use single weft, but of course, double weft you can make for a fuller ponytail. You want to make sure that that last row that you put on is a single weft because it helps it to bend a little bit better. Lastly, you want to put the comb on. So when you put the comb on, you don't want it too close to the top. Maybe like that second row that you place onto the ponytail is where you want to sew because you want to be able to have that drawstring to have that bend to it. So not too close and not too far. Now I use a rat tail comb to go through the top so that you can't see exactly where I sewed. This is also what I do to the wigs when I add the comb and the hair is in the way. You just go ahead and just pull it through a little bit at a time and it works perfectly. And then once that's done, you want to also make sure that you put a comb on the bottom. I'm not going to be showing that because you do it the same exact way. You want to go not too close to the drawstring, not too far up. And unfortunately, I don't have a human to put the ponytail on. So I have this wig, which is pretty thick. So it's not going to be the perfect looking ponytail. But just imagine it's a human and imagine that the hair is not so thick. So you go ahead and use the comb and you place it on. Then you want to make sure that you put the comb at the bottom underneath as well. And then you could go ahead and start pulling the ponytail. Now, as you see, like the string is really long, but that's okay. Let the customer cut the string. Don't you cut the string because they could cut the string to their liking. And here we are. It is complete and the ponytail is on there. It's nice and snug. Here I am doing a little test to make sure she's not falling off and embarrassing anybody. And then I'm going to give her a little twirl so that you can see she is not coming on. She's nice and tight. I thank you so very much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you.